Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial.
Hi, I'm Travis Davis, Vice President of Ship Operations for Battleship Texas Foundation.
So we are in the Gulf Copper Shipyard here in Galveston, Texas, to see the work being done on USS Texas. And this is incredibly valuable for myself and my peers to come down and see the work that's happening on Texas for us, because we're going to be the next battleship that goes into dry dock. Today, I want to talk about all of the reasons why the historic fleet's eyes are on Texas and why Texas is important.
Well, outside of the vast historical value of the ship, um, the Texas was the first museum ship. She became a museum ship on April 21st, 1948. Outside of Oregon, which
Mm-hmm.
was, we all know the horrible history of Oregon, returned back to the Navy to be scrapped. Um, but Texas is the longest serving U.S. museum ship, and particularly steel warship. Um, so we had a lot of missteps getting out of the gate, particularly like our mooring plan, which called for the ship to be ballasted really heavily, and they used brackish water to ballast the ship. And that set up 40 years of uh, the ship's guts being eaten out by salt water. And then in 68 rather, our wooden decks, which were deteriorating. You guys are going through a deck replacement
Mm-hmm.
program right now. So in 68, they had the bright idea to, instead of replacing with wood, relay the deck with concrete, which within a year, the concrete had cracked because concrete's rigid.
Mm-hmm.
Ships are not rigid structures. So the concrete cracked, and then it started raining in the interior of the ship, which just started continually accelerating corrosion issues.
Can we give our predecessors their due justice and talk about why they made the decisions they made? Like, obviously, this is a brand new thing. Nobody had ever tried to preserve something like this without the full funding of the U.S. government or a national government and the crew of trained professionals. Why did they make the decision to ballast the ship to sink her into the mud?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that kind of went into that. So one is obviously cost, right? There's always a cost associated with anything we do with these ships. So, and even then, they were working with a limited budget. The Navy was charging the state for all the work to prepare the ship itself to come to Texas, and then also for the cost of that tow. So the state of Texas had to raise about $250,000 in 1948 dollars, which is today a lot of money,
Right
uh,
at the end of World War II.
right at the end of World War II. And that was generally funded by just a donation drive from the school children of Texas. Um, so a lot of people there's a lot of sentimentality associated with that. But so those limited funds had to go towards not only developing the berth itself, and then but also all the work that the Navy was doing to the ship. So the painting, the recalking the deck in 48, and all of those things, and then the tow to get her down here. Um,
So not only is the Navy charging the state for the work they're doing, how much money is the Navy putting into operating the ship?
$0. So like the modern museum ships, like your ship, the contract that you have with the Navy, we were the precursor to that, where the Navy said, and the U.S. Congress said, we're not going to put any money into these ships. The conditions for you to accept the ship as a donation is that we give you no money. We cannot support this. So, and that was the case. And because this was the first ship, they were very, very stringent with that. So we, had to deal with, they had to deal with those resource issues in 48. And then, the other things that go along with that is, you're trying to make the best decisions with the resource constraints that you have, with the knowledge base that you have. And, again, no one had really set one of these ships to go long term. Also, we live on, particularly that ballasting discussion, we live on the Gulf Coast, right? So we're prone to hurricanes. And within 14 years of the ship being in San Jacinto here in Texas, she'd already gone through a major hurricane, which ripped off most of her antennas. So, or made them so unsafe that they had to be removed. So that was all those things that had to be weighed out. Could they have done it better? Absolutely, they could have done it better. But with the resources that they have, that's the best they could do. And a lot of times with historic preservation, it is you're dealing with immediate issues right now, and even if those cause long-term issues, you're kind of kicking the can down the road, and we'll address those down the road. Now, you and I, we both have the mindset, and a lot of our peers have the mindset of we're making decisions now that are going to set us up better for the long term than just deal with the immediate issue right now, and then we'll get back to it later. Getting that kick the can mentality is something that we're all trying to get around and to stop within our community, I think.
And for me, that's one of the big important things about Texas is that as the first one, the 70 years of these decisions that were made, and we can see how those decisions have played out. And some of them worked well, and some of them, like we were just talking about, did not work well. So now I know for my ship that's coming along 50 years after Texas has already been decommissioned, like Battleship New Jersey is not ballasted into the mud. There's a different type of storm mooring system. As we replace the deck, we're not replacing it with concrete. We are going back to the original teak. A slightly different system than the Navy used to save money, but still the teak that they intended.
Exactly right. And what the other thing I would say is the Navy learned a lot as well. So they're being more stringent with the newer museum ships. So
that's a very good point. We've got a several page contract with the Navy. What's your agreement like?
So our original agreement, we didn't have one. We just had a straight a piece of legislation authoring the transfer, and then there was just a one-page acceptance from the state or signed by the Secretary of the Navy. And that was all we had until 2012, and then we had a little bit more formalized agreement created that mirrors what's in your contract, but it's nowhere near as in depth because of the unique situation that created the transfer for the ship. So, Ryan, I would say that the best thing, you guys staying on top of things like you are, I think it's absolutely looking proactive to doing things is phenomenal. Otherwise, you're going to end up spending, like the state of Texas has over the last 30 years, $100 million on your ship, just to undo that kicking the can down the road.
That is the cost of the deferred maintenance?
So far.
And how much of that, or how much time did you have to spend in the yard versus what you're doing pier side?
So our first dry docking was in 88 through 89, and that total project was 13 million. Of that, 9 was direct work on the ship.
So Texas is not dry docked from the end of World War II up until the year before I'm born in 1989.
Yep, 40 years. And then, beyond that, the next major work that happened on the ship was in around 2013, which was doing structural work on the ship, so the ship would be able to support itself in a dry dock out of the water. And that was, the first phase of that was $20 million. The second phase between 2017 and 2019 was another $25 million. And then this whole dry docking process that we're going through now is $35 million, of which the actual work on the ship is a much smaller percentage than that whole $35 million project. So.
And this work, were you able to fund it through donations and ticket sales?
Some of it, yes. Some of it, the vast majority of it, no. Because the ship is owned by the state of Texas, the bulk of this funding has come from the taxpayers of the state of Texas. So through state government appropriations, or bond issues.
Much from the federal government, or we've already said that the Navy doesn't give anything?
Well, the federal government really doesn't give museum ships very much anyways. I mean, the best that we get is grants. We currently have a Save America's Treasures grant right now for to repair our superstructure. So that's about a $1.2 million project, which we have secured $500,000 from the Save America's Treasures program.
And you have to, they give you half, and you have to match that half to get the money.
Exactly. So, have you guys used any of those grant programs before?
Yeah, no, Battleship New Jersey has gone through this exact same process as part of the funding for our redecking, which is only a $5 million capital project compared to...
Right. Well, and the good thing is with these grant programs, I don't know if you noticed or not, Well, of course you did, because you wrote it in the newsletter. But the potential of more funding through the National Maritime Heritage Program. So if you live in the U.S., write your congressman, your senator, and say, hey, support the funding for the National Maritime Heritage Program, grant program.
So that gives museum ships the possibility of getting some federal funding through grants to help with their preservation.
Exactly. Whether it's your favorite battleship or or sorry, Ryan.
That's my favorite dreadnought.
Or your favorite local maritime museum. It all goes to anything maritime related, both in preservation and education programs. What big issues are you looking at in coming up in your dry docking? I mean, are you guys anticipating? For part 2 of this video, hop on over to Battleship Texas YouTube channel and watch us there. Sorry to leave you hanging here, but bye-bye.
Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate your support. There are links in the description to Battleship Texas's shop and their donate page and their various other social medias. Consider supporting them and their ongoing restoration work, because it does benefit New Jersey and the rest of the fleet in the long term. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about us and our channel. Thanks for watching.